So then, as we start Season 2 of our Juventus save, there has been a ridiculous amount of money spent over the summer. £286 million worth of players have joined the club. About 70 million have left the club. Let's briefly talk about the players leaving. Now, if I was playing this game seriously, Danilo would not have left the club. But because we are trying to bring in youngsters, we're trying to get a very young Juve side to be able to challenge for Serie A's for many years to come. Danilo, at 32 years of age, is too old, so he's been moved on, signing for Benfica for £12 million, which actually isn't a bad bit of business. Matteo Perrin as well, who has ticked over the 30 barrier, he'll soon be 31, signing for Frankfurt for about £11 million, £10 million potentially rising, I think, something like that. So yeah, another player leaving. For £8 million, Filip Kostic has also left the club. This one hurt, because he was very good for us in the one season that he played for Juve, scoring 10 goals and 29 starts in the league. It's a cheap deal, but Leipzig have got themselves a very good player. Dani Ceballos has also left the club for about £8.5 million, which is an absolute ridiculous amount of money, considering we brought him for 1.8 and sold him for 7.75, potentially rising to £8.5 million. Also joining him over at Monaco is Wojciech Szczesny. He has left for £5.5 million. We didn't play him. I intentionally did not play him last season as much as possible because he's too old. That's the end of it. He's too old. Doesn't fit our model going forward. Liverpool loanee Arthur has also left the club on a permanent deal, signing for Hanover. This man has left the club and we didn't really do much about it because he was already on loan at Genoa and there was just a permanent deal in place. Probably wouldn't have sold him if it was me. De Sciglio has also left the club. Played a fair amount of football last season, but we have brought in replacement fullbacks. Danny Motta as well leaving the club. We had him for one season, moving over to Porto for about £2.7 million. Not a lot of money, but let's face it, he wasn't going to play this season. And the final one to mention is Gianluca Frabotta, a player who was out on loan at Frosinone? I don't know how to say it. I'm not Italian. He's signed for Marseille for peanuts. Literally peanuts. £775,000. He's not that good, is he? Right then, joining the club. There's a lot of them as well. Arkadiusz Milik, as we know, £6 million for Milik on a permanent deal. Superb for us last season. He's probably only going to be here one more season as well if we were to carry on into a third season, but Milik is a very good player for the money. Some free transfers as well. Alvaro Carrillo has signed from Real Madrid on a free, going out on loan immediately to Alaves. Sherton Dor has signed on a free transfer from Benfica, going out on loan immediately to Sassuolo. Signing from today's opponents Atalanta on a free is Marco Carnesci, which I think this is a very good signing. He might be our number one goalkeeper this season. Completing a permanent deal from Everton is Moise Kean for £24 million. This was all agreed before I even took over at the club, so don't moan at me for the amount of money that was spent on Kean. I personally wouldn't have bought him. And likewise with Locatelli for £30 million, probably wouldn't have bought him. He's a very good footballer, but maybe he's a bit too old. We've got some we've got some decent youngsters that I'd rather play ahead of Locatelli. For £9 million, we have signed Andreas Schjelderup from FC Nordsjælland that's in Denmark, isn't it? It is in Denmark. Or formerly of Bodo Glimt in his native Norway. Very good player. Probably not going to be the first name on the team sheet, but we'll hopefully get a lot of game time this season. I was tempted to loan him out to somebody like a Sassuolo, but I think we'd be better off keeping him here, giving him game time. Because we sold so many goalkeepers, I needed to bring in a third choice goalkeeper, and Mickey Van Sass is the man, signed from Manchester City for about £700,000, £900,000, potentially rising to £1 million. He's not amazing, he's 19 years old, he is literally our third choice goalkeeper. We'll probably never see him play. We've also picked up Takahiro Nakai from Real Madrid and sent him out on loan to Sassuolo. He's cost £1.7 million, which this is a stupid mistake that I've made. We can only sign 2 non-EU players. Nakai is one of them, and we've sent him out on loan. It wasn't the best decision, was it? 4 more players to go. Thiago Almada is next up. Football Manager Wonderkid royalty, I would say. Although he's maybe not as good as he has been in previous years. He's still very, very good, though. And he's only cost £17 million, which is probably a lot of money, but he's still only 22. Will be 23 come the end of the season. Probably not going to be playing a huge amount of football. It might be him and Schjelderup battling out on that left-hand side. This one I am very happy with. Giorgio Scalvini, signed from Atalanta for £32.5 million, I think is what it was. He's 19 years of age, and he's superb. Is he not? He's absolutely superb, and he's probably not our best defender at the moment. We've also brought in 2 more players. Both of them have cost over £80 million. And we're going to go with a more expensive one. It's Tino Livramento. He's cost £83 million. It's not all up front. Don't worry, all of these transfer dealings are spread over a number of seasons where we're not even going to be in control of them. Signed, obviously, from Southampton. He is going to be our number one right back for the season. And you might be wondering what's happening to Wrench. He might be moving to a midfield position. Because he can't go over to left back, because Josko Gvardiol has signed from RB Leipzig for £82 million. I spoke to the board and said, sign me Gvardiol, even, that's his name. And they went, yes, we agree. So we've got some very good defenders, haven't we? We've got some very good defenders. I didn't see the point in strengthening our central midfield and our attackers, because I think we've already got some of the best youngsters potentially in the game at the moment. So I didn't see the point in doing that. It's the defence that I was worried about. And I think we've done a very good job in buying the better players to bring in. And if you take a look then at the best 11, according to our assistant manager Marco Landucci, they reckon Carnesci is our number one keeper with Hedl as our best prospect. Pellegrini, Gvardiol, Bremer and Wrench with Livramento just behind him. Scalvini also just behind Bremer. So our defensive options are superb. I'm probably going to be playing Gvardiol as a left back, which means Scalvini and Bremer can be in the middle. In midfield, Locatelli, Fagioli, McKennie, Ravella. We've also got, I've forgotten his name, Fabio Moretti, that's his name. And possibly Wrench as well. As I mentioned, he might be moving into a more central midfield role because we played defensive midfielders. He can do that job. He had a lot of interest in the summer. He's disappointed not to be able to join PSG, but they were offering like £10 million. We spent 14 on him, so I'm not going to do that, am I? As you can see, going further up the field on the left-hand side, Almada and Sheldrup, as I mentioned, will probably be battling out for that right-hand side. Chaser probably has that right wing spot nailed down, but Rooney is not too far behind him. Milik, George, Vlahovic, Keane as our strikers. If we take a look at our squad, it's a bit of a mess because there's lots of things going on here. But basically, you can see we've got a decent squad, have we not? If we sort by ability, Vlahovic is a 4.5-star player. He is our outstanding superstar in our squad. We have Kulusevski as well. Completely ignored Kulusevski. Obviously, in real life, out on loan at Spurs at the moment. We've got Pogba. Probably not going to play him. McKennie, we've still got Orsolini. We've got Kevin Danso's there. Sturgew's still here. Vigna's still here. We've got a very good team, haven't we? When it comes to potential, our worst potential player is Kevin Danso. I might loan out Kevin Danso. He was great for us last season. I don't think he's going to be playing for us this season. Also, on top of that, we have started the season already. We kicked off, I can't even remember who we played. Who did we play? We played Sassuolo, that's it. And we win 2-0. Gvardiol and Milik with the goals in this one. It means we are currently third place in the table. And as you can see in the middle there, we have the Champions League draw as well. Chelsea, Juve, Partizan and Dinamo. That's not an easy group, although you have to think that Chelsea and Juve are the best two teams in that group. And probably how that is laid out there might be how it finishes. Maybe we'll be top. Right, I think that's all the admin out of the way, which is probably half the episode. Let's play Atalanta, which is going to be a very tough match. The starting lineup then for the Atalanta game is going to be Carnesci in goal, Livramento, Bremer, Scalvini and Wrench in defence. No Gvardiol because he is currently out injured. Not ideal really, is it? It's going to be Ravella and Locatelli in midfield. Today, Chaser, Almada, Vlahovic and Keane up front. We're obviously missing Milik as well. He's not out injured, but he's probably not going to play. He's still got 7 days until he's in full training. So obviously, Atalanta were one of the teams pushing us to the limit at the end of the season. So far, they are down in 16th place. They've obviously played one and lost one game, so they need to try and get back onto winning ways. If we can beat them here, this is going to be an early nail in the coffin for Atalanta. 15 minutes already on the clock and so far no highlights. And Atalanta have had 4 shots to our 1. Lamar to Pasalic. Plays it back to Okoli. Ball over towards Hateboer on the right-hand side. Koopmeiners collects it. Now Zapata. Now Pessina. They're looking pretty good at the moment. If we can nick the ball though, maybe there's a counter-attack opportunity. Demirel to Rafael Toloi on that left-hand side. Or right-hand side, sorry. Left-hand side for us. Musso to Okoli. What are we going to do? Slowly closing him down. Not quick enough for my liking. Koopmeiners with a ball. Pessina tries to find Zapata and can't manage it. Wrench collects it from the former Atalanta man and passes it to the current Atalanta man, Pessina. Back to Hateboer. Koopmeiners goes for a long-range effort and Carnesci, also the former Atalanta man, makes a save. Still coming forward though with the ball through the corner. It's towards Okoli at the front. Almada manages to get it clear and hopefully, good job, Thiago Almada there can get the ball further. Vlahovic with a free kick for us towards Bremer, and Bremer's hit the post. And oh my word, Demirel clears it off the line. Could have nicked a goal there. We are not looking particularly good at the moment, are we? We've had one shot on target. It's finally happened, but we are not looking great. Neither are Atalanta, realistically, are they? And at half-time, then, it is somewhat underwhelming. I'm going to say I'm not happy. Because I'm not happy. It's not been a particularly great performance. Scalvini's on a 6-4. Carnesci, determined to prove that Atalanta made a mistake, first of all, loaning him out last season, and then releasing him on a free this season. We've got a free kick in a good position. Hatterber, I think, is just going to get a telling off. He's getting told to calm down. We've got a free kick then. It's going to basically be a corner. Thiago Almada is the man to take it. Former Atlanta man, not Atalanta man. Bremer, with the headed effort, goes over the bar. Not really doing much, are we? It's not a particularly great game. We've got an XG of 1.0. So we're getting chances, apparently, but they're not great chances. Right, we're going to do Danso coming on for Scalvini, who isn't doing so well against his former team. Kulusevski up front. Sheldrup up front. Kyle George, I mean, he did score the winning goal to win us the title, didn't he? Just those two subs for the moment. I'm hoping that might light a fire under us a little bit. At least Kyle George, maybe get him involved a bit more. Livramento and Bremer all playing badly from a defensive perspective. It's not been a great opening match, is it? 10 minutes left. Wrench with the throw. Almada to Wrench again. Playing obviously on the wrong side to normal. Almada tries to curl one in the top corner. It's over the bar though. That's probably been our best chance all game. And it's not been very good. Final couple of minutes, 4 minutes of injury time. We don't have World Cup injury time in this. And it's going to be a 0-0 draw. Which, on paper, you'd have to say you'd take that. And then when you see that we had next year 1.34, maybe we should have won that game. Also, 5 yellow cards. Wonderful. So I completely forgot to mention as well our loan army that we have sent out all around the world. I was going to say Italy, but it's actually all around the world. The big ones really. Galixen going to Brescia. Yildiz going to Cagliari. What else we got? Ihataren going to Genk. I probably wasn't going to play Ihataren. A whole load of people going to Perugia. Michael Petito, one of our signings from January, I think, last season, going to Perugia. Zakaria to Real Madrid. That is going to turn into a permanent deal. I had no plans on playing him, which sounds like a stupid thing because he's actually pretty good and he's only 26, but he's going. He's leaving on a permanent deal. We've also got Sharon Dor, Ranocchia, Rooney and Nakai all going to Sassuolo. However, none of them are playing, annoyingly. For match number 2 of the episode, then, we have gone all the way forward to the Dinamo Champions League game, our opening Champions League game. We've just beaten Empoli 3-1 in the league, but they were sat 19th or maybe even bottom of the table, so do you expect us to win that one anyway? It is going to be Carnesci in goal, Livramento, Bremer, Scalvini and Gvardiol returning from his injury, Wrench and Moretti in midfield, Kulusevski and Almada on the wings today, Vlahovic and Sheldrup playing as a striker. I don't know whether Sheldrup should be a striker or a winger. He's got 13 finishing, but he's got 16 dribbling, 16 first touch, 16 passing technique, off the ball, anticipation, concentrate. I mean, as a striker, if he could get his finishing up to 16, he'd look amazing, right? We are going to keep him as a striker. You can see the subs bench there as well. We've got everybody apart from Ravella and George on the subs bench. We've also, as well, completely forgot to mention this, just loaned out Leonidas Sturgeon to Club Bruges because he's not going to get anywhere near the first team this season because of obviously Bremer, Scalvini, Gvardiol, and obviously the beast that is Kevin Danso. I wanted to make sure that we played Gvardiol in this game because I'm pretty sure he used to play for Dinamo, if I'm not mistaken. So it's like they always seem to score against their former team. So that's what I'm hoping. Today, in the Champions League then, we should be good enough to win this match. We arguably should be good enough to win this group. We're probably not good enough to win the group because of my awful transfers. But still, we should be good enough. Orsic curling effort. It's 1-0 to Dinamo. Oh, I'm not liking the sound of this. That's not a good start, is it? It was a good finish. To be fair, it was a very good finish. But still, I'm not liking the start of this match. Wrench with the ball, playing in his new midfield role. Bremer. Forward to Vlahovic. Across Livramento down the line to Kulusevski. Vlahovic again. Livramento's making a run forward. Bremer to Moretti in the middle. Scalvini didn't play well against Atalanta. Did play all right, actually, against Empoli. It's going to be Bremer again. Scalvini, Moretti. Can't get out of our own half at the moment until a big lump upfield to Thiago Almada. Nicks the ball back as well in towards goal. He's going to go for it himself, isn't he? Of course he does. Is Almada a greedy player? Is that something that I've just completely forgot or ignored? That he's a really greedy player and he's going to cause us issues. Sheldrup with the ball. Almada on the left-hand side probably wants to take on 12 players and score himself. It's a crossfield ball and Dejan Kulusevski is there. It's 1-1. Just as I was slagging him off for being greedy, Almada goes and gets himself an assist. So that's fine. If he can keep doing that, I'll let him have the odd chance himself. It is Dinamo with the ball, though. Bocage down that left-hand side. Probably not how his name is said at all, is it? Ball forward. Batterina's not going to get there. Gvardiol clears. Gets it back again as well. Scalvini in the penalty area. Big lump upfield. Vlahovic doesn't manage to nick that. That should have been Vlahovic's ball. It's through as well. And oh my word, Scalvini clears. Okay, that's good. Livramento and Bremer heading between the pair of them. And now a counter? Maybe? Or not. A lot more so far going on in this game than there was in the Atalanta game, isn't there? We are not even 20 minutes in, and we've got another possible chance. Batterina gets it. Loses out, though, to Gvardiol. Scalvini with the ball. Going to go for a little run. Moretti, weird pass from Scalvini, straight to a marked player. Right-hand side is Tino Livramento. Now Kulusevski. Livramento's there if he needs him. Doesn't pass the ball. Kulusevski, what are you doing, buddy? Vlahovic collects it. Through ball to Shelderup, and that's a superb shot and a superb save from Livakovic. Going to get a corner. It is going to be Almada to take it, as our assistant manager tells our team to calm down, apparently. It's cleared. Are we going to get there first? We do. The corner was useless. Free kick for Dinamo towards goal, but cleared. I say cleared. I think that was actually them who cleared it. Got another chance, though. Back post. Gvardiol gets it into the middle. And Ivanusek with a half volley, I'm not quite sure. Just wide over both, maybe all of them. He didn't score. This game is a lot closer than it perhaps should be. This game is definitely a lot closer than it perhaps should be. It is 1-1 at half time. We're not doing well, but we are. We've got some good numbers. Wrench, Kulusevski, Almada all doing actually pretty decently. Scalvini and Gvardiol as well. Miretti also doing not bad. Then we've got Shelderup on a 6-5. Livramento on a 6-6. I mean, is it that right-hand side that's a problem? Is Tino not good as a wing-back on support? I'm going to do an inverted wing-back, which is a weird thing because he's right-footed on the right-hand side. We're going to take off Shelderup as well. Milik is going to come on. Gvardiol should only be playing 60 minutes, so we do need to consider bringing off Gvardiol at some point. First highlight of the second half is obviously going to be a chance, and hopefully it's a chance for us and not for them. Bremer back to Karneshi in goal. Big kick over the halfway line by the young keeper. Milik, he's not even touched the ball yet. Milik's first touch is scored. Arkadiusz Milik has scored with his first touch. I don't know whether that was his first touch, because he might have actually taken centre. I can't even remember who took centre. But we have taken the lead, and Milik is the man. A couple of minutes later, and another possible chance going our way. Scalvini stops and stands still with the ball. Wrench with it. Doing all right, actually, in that defensive midfield role. Miretti to Milik again. Almada on that left-hand side. There's 5 in the box. Milik's one of them, and Milik has scored again. This time we're going to get some VAR, but I think that's going to count as well. I know there are some of you saying that I probably shouldn't have bought Milik. He's scoring goals for fun. He's ridiculous. Vlahovic has nicked that as well. He should have maybe put that one in. Cross it. It's Almada. He's going to go for goal himself. He does, curls it over the bar. Milik has cost £6 million and has just effectively won us this game in the space of, what, 2 minutes? 3 minutes? Right, we're beyond the 60 minutes, which means Gvardiol needs to come off now. He's done his time. He's played well, I think. We're going to do Vigna coming on. Do we do any more changes? Moretti, I think, will come off for... Let's do McKennie. I think we'll play Wrench and McKennie. Maybe swap you two round. I wanted to do Livramento coming off as well, but we have no right-backs. Unless we do Wrench there, and then we'll do Livramento for Fagioli. We'll do that. Free kick for Dinamo, 69th minute. On target as well. Karneshi can hold on to that. I think that was probably the whole highlight. Or maybe not. Scalvini's going for a weird little jog in his own penalty area. Vigna with it. In the middle was Fagioli. Even more in the middle is McKennie. Back to Scalvini. So what's happening here? I thought the chance was actually gone already. Kulusevski's going to collect that. Stops with the ball. Loses out. Wrench is there to pick up the pieces. He's played very well. He's been asked to do a lot as well. Multiple positions. Fagioli, ball forward. Milik on a hat-trick. Takes a couple of touches. Tries to dink it over the keeper. It's cleared. Milik is an absolute game changer, isn't he? He is an absolute game changer for us. Final 10 minutes. Do we want to do any more subs? Can we do any more subs? Maybe one more if we're allowed to do it. Bremer with it. It's the 82nd, potentially 83rd minute. Fagioli in the centre circle. Back to Bremer once again. Going for a little run. Wrench. Ball on the ground to Vlahovic. He's played the ball through. Kulusevski to Milik. Can he get his hat-trick? The sub can't get his hat-trick, but we do win a corner. Almada's going to go over and take it. He's on an 8.5, Almada is. Towards the front post, cleared. McKennie chest down. Tries to keep it alive, but can't manage it. Final change, which is going to be Kevin Danso for Scalvini. Just because I want Kevin Danso to play in the Champions League. 4 minutes of injury time as well has just completely disappeared. And Milik should get man of the match there. I'm fully aware that Almada got 2 assists. Milik changed the game at half-time. He changed the game. We win 3-1. We kind of rescued that, didn't we? So then at the end of episode 1 of season 2, this is how everything looks. Serie A, we are currently sat 6th place, 7 points out of a possible 9. It's not looking great, but also it's very early days. There are 7 teams so far after 3 games who have not lost, and one of them is Verona, and another one is Fiorentina. 2 teams that arguably maybe you would expect to have lost early on. In the Champions League, we are sat top thanks to goal difference. Chelsea beat Partizan, I think 2-1 in the end. We're not in the Coppa Italia just yet anyway, and we are playing Atalanta in the PS5 Super Cup. I assume that means PlayStation 5 Super Cup on the 17th of January. Fair enough, didn't know that was a thing. Anyway, that is going to do it then for episode 1 of season 2. If you did enjoy, do please remember to leave a like. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. If you want to see me try and win the World Cup with England without picking any players from the Premier League, do check out those videos on the channel as well. The full series has now been released, so you can see how that goes. I'm obviously going to carry on with season 2. Next episode, I don't even know where we're going to go. We're going to go somewhere. Maybe there. That looks interesting, doesn't it? Torino, Chelsea and Inter Milan. That's going to be episode 2. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.